Welcome back. This is Packaging Made Simple, and I'm Rusty Phillips. I appreciate you joining me if this is your first time, and I'm happy that you came back if this is your second. So, depending upon when you're watching this, you'll understand that this is a series of videos dedicated to the basics of packaging. Today's video is geared towards stretch film. In the coming weeks, I'm going to be putting out some additional information related to shrink film, protective packaging, tapes and adhesives, and then kind of wrapping up the series with equipment / automation within the packaging world. So today again it's stretch film. So let's get started and stay tuned to the end because I've got some cheats in kind of helping you understand the difference between roll cost and the total cost of the actual product going out the door. So let's get started.
Semi-automatic wrappers require the pallets to be loaded and unloaded by operators. Fully automatic have the pallets automatically conveyed into the wrap zone and out of the wrap zone. Traditionally, fully automatic wrappers are more expensive, but they do offer a more consistent wrap and traditionally can be found to have a lower film cost per load because of that. Within semi-automatics, you have turntables and rotary arms. Fully automatics offer a few more options: turntable wrappers, rotary arm wrappers, ring wrappers, and orbital wrappers.
Well, I hope that you found that interesting. I put a lot of time into that because I wanted to be able to share just all the intricacies that relate to stretch film. A lot of information, and you still may have questions. It's hard to put everything into an 8 to 10 minute video, so I'll probably put additional information out about different segments within stretch and other categories in the future, but for the time being I just wanted to hit the highlights. So with that said, I want to kind of give you a little bit of extra information that may be of value to you. So I talked about understanding cost differences between roll costs and the cost per load. So what you need to do is you need to do a stretch audit, and what you do is you simply are going to kind of go do a cut and weigh. And when you do a cut and weigh, you can use this app right here. It's a Highlight Stretch app. You can get it on iOS, I believe also on Android. But what it'll do is it'll give you the information that you need to put into it. So first and foremost is going to be the film specs, so the width, the gauge of the film, then you're going to need to know the dimensions of the load that you wrapped, and then you're going to need to know the revolutions in which you applied when you used your stretch wrapper. So in an example I'll use, you have a 42 by 38 by 60 inch high load, and the stretch wrapper utilized 10 revolutions. And then when it came off, you did what's called a cut and weigh, and you simply just cut it off, the film off the load, and then you use a scale, and it'll give you a per ounce, or give you an ounce, that number that is relevant. That ounce information will help to give you an understanding of your cost, but for the sake of the first part of this, that stretch percentage is what's going to give you some information that's of value. So as you can see on the screen, that stretch percentage tells you, hey, I'm doing well. If I'm doing above 200, I traditionally think that's a good threshold. If you're below 200, there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. So I won't harp too much on this, but just know that that's a great tool and a great app to give you a quick snapshot if you're performing well. And then what you really want to kind of understand is that cost per load. So if you have a roll cost of say $40 and you have a 32 pound roll, you're going to divide that by 32, you're going to divide that by 16, and that's going to give you a per ounce cost. So let's assume for the example I did earlier, you had 6.5 ounces of film that you cut off there. So you would multiply your 6.5 ounces of film times your per ounce cost. That's going to give you what your cost per load is. So often people focus on roll costs, but the reality of it is I could sell you a $20 more expensive roll, but if I can get 50 more loads out of it, even though it's more expensive, you're going to have a significantly lower cost per load. So don't get lost in information that's not as important. It is important to know your roll costs, but it's probably more important to understand how you're applying it and how your equipment's performing. So that's a lot of information, and I hope that you've took what I'm saying and kind of can resonate with you, and hope that you'll stick around. And if you've enjoyed this video, put a little like down below, and then also hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it, and continue to stick with me as I'll have some additional packaging videos coming out in the near future, and I hope that you've enjoyed this. Again, this is Rusty Phillips, and this is Packaging Made Simple.